today I want to talk about a couple of giant projects that in my opinion could have the potential to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum from here on. And if you're excited about this, then make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, number one. Also subscribe to Cryptocito Clips. Number two, like this video, share it with 1 or 2 friends. Number three, also make sure to watch the entire thing. So today I want to share a couple of projects that in my opinion have product market fit, in my opinion have very, very active communities, activity also on-chain that you can track yourself. We can also look into some explorers. And without further ado, I think let's start with the first one. And I guess you already know which one that is. So let's get started. Anyways, Cosmos Atom is ranked 27, in my opinion, criminally undervalued, especially at the recent Cosmoverse conference that we had here in Lisbon. I got even more bullish on Cosmos, its ecosystem, but also the Atom price, right? Because there are so many things that are coming. Interchain security, which would turn Cosmos into something more like the Polkadot relay chain is, right? Where you have a central hub of a security source and that smaller chains, newer chains could pack to it, right? So that's something that I'm really excited about. Multi-routing for IBC transactions, which would mean that, for example, if a new chain implements IBC, instead of having to set up IBC channels to all these different chains, right? So for example, this new chain has to set up a channel to Osmosis and to SwiftChain and to Region Network and to all these different chains. Instead of having to set that up, they could route through the Cosmos hub, which is already packed to all these other chains because they are already IBC channels. And then in return, there would be a small fee or there would be a small reward in Atom for Atom stakers or Atom holders. But that's also why there's high staking rewards, right? So currently you get around 10% in staking rewards, which is pretty good in my opinion. Make sure to follow Cosmos on Twitter @Cosmos. They also have an ongoing hackathon, right? And the last thing that came out of the hackathon, at least originated there, is Osmosis, right? So maybe there's something really big coming out of that. Check it out. FMOS, coins and chains like FMOS that are now in the incentivized testnet still going to be launching this year. This is the Moonbeam equivalent for Cosmos, or the kind of like Ethereum on Cosmos chain. All right, the second coin that I find severely undervalued is Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. This is a coin that I've been talking about forever. I think even below 3 cents or 3-4 cents. What they basically trying to do, or what they basically are, is what's called a directed acyclic graph, which other than a typical blockchain, it's much faster at transacting and much faster at settling transactions as well, right? So the time to finality on HBAR is really fast. You can also try that out yourself if you just, play around with it. The key difference that Hedera has to other chains, other than being different than a blockchain, right? It's more of a DAG, like for example, IOTA is, or Nano, or even to a degree Avalanche as well, is that Hedera has what's called a governing council, right? So instead of basically just rolling out a coin and saying, hey, here's the coin, do with it whatever you want, they target specific companies from different industries, from different geographics, and say, hey, why don't you become a stakeholder and help us to build this ledger and then roll it out for the masses? And you can even build on it, right? You can even build yourself applications on top of it. And that's how they onboarded these crazy, crazy companies, right? I mean, from Boeing to Chainlink to DBS, LG, Deutsche Telekom, UCL, Tata Communications, Standard Bank, Shinhan Bank, largest bank in Korea. And then Hedera as the ledger is a decentralized, open to review platform that anybody can build upon, anybody can use. And obviously the Swirls team, which is where Mance Harmon and Dr. Lehman Bird, who by the way also was on my channel recently, a couple of weeks ago, they're the founders of it. Hedera is also secured and patented. Read all through these documentations, all the use cases. There's so much that these guys are doing. Galaxies were probably one of the most recent ones, led by an NBA player, a basketball player, a huge team. They raised a lot of money when they're building a platform to incentivize creators and their communities, right? So it's basically you can create fan tokens and this and that, I think. All right, next coin I have on my list here is the Graph GRT. In my opinion, still criminally undervalued, even at 92 cents. GRT, $4.5 billion in market cap. Almost half of the coins are circulating, so fully diluted, it would be less than 10 billion. GRT has one of the highest adoption rates and is one of the best kind of like underlying infrastructure protocols that just works in the background, right? The graph is basically a decentralized API connector that indexes those data, on-chain data provided by something like Chainlink, and then distributes them and makes it accessible for dApps, right, to be used. And that's something that's a game changer in my opinion. But anyways, the graph GRT, 92 cents, in my opinion, not, well, obviously not the best price to get in, but also not the all-time high, right? All-time high was $2.84. And whenever you want to buy a coin, you want to buy it as far away from the all-time high as possible, right? And 66%, 67% is not bad. You're not buying the absolute peak. All right, last coin I want to mention here on my list is Celo. That's one coin that, in my opinion, is not really much talked about. $1.8 billion in market cap, $53 million in trading volume. That's not a lot. They have a very, very strong focus, and that focus is mobile, right? Celo is built for the mobile world. It's built for smartphone devices, right? Mobile first platform. And I think that's a very simple thing to think about, like, oh, wow, that's not really special. But it actually is, because no one is actually coming out there and says, hey, we are mobile first blockchain for crypto payments, right? So that's what they are trying to become. There's a couple of DEXs that are already live, like Uniswap. I made a video about this as well a couple of weeks ago, which is still very, very early stage. You have to be careful with impermanent loss and all these kind of things. They have a lot of renowned investors in the space, right? A lot of investors. And this is always a good sign when you see, hey, there's so many people involved, that this is not something that is just an idea or just a white paper. It's actually something that a lot of people have a stake in, and a lot of people would love to see win, right? And also, if you look at their team, this is their team, by the way, that I'm scrolling right now. It's giant. They have a giant team. Also a lot of like former Ethereum people. Also James Presswich is involved. I'm not sure if I can find him right now, but there are a lot of people that know a lot about bridging. They know a lot about Ethereum. They know a lot about how blockchain technology works under the hood. So these guys are definitely qualified to build such thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please also go over to CryptoCito Clips and subscribe there. Also join my Telegram group, CryptoCitos_friends, FRENS. And I'll see you there. Stay safe, be good, and I'll see you soon.